Muda mchache uliopita umetoa notisi ya mgomo iwapo serikali haitafikia makubaliano yao katika makubaliano ya kurejea kazini baada ya siku 14. Wakiongozwa na mwenyekiti wa KUKO Peterson Wachira wamedai kuwa serikali imekosa kuwafikia makubaliano licha ya wao kusitisha mgomo baada ya kuelewana na serikali. Baadhi ya masuala wanayotaka yashughulikiwe ni kuboreshwa kwa mazingira ya kazi.
Contract under the respective county serving more than 6 years to be converted to permanent and pensionable because it is illegal and has no basis to be in place, because then they are manipulating clinical officers, and we agreed that this was to be, if they were not to do that, they were to pay them according to the market rate. That has not also happened, and it forms the ground of this strike notice today. The union hereby demand, in light of the above, the union hereby demand, and in light of the unresolved issues and lack of goodwill from the government and the responsible state agencies, the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers now make the following demands: immediate recognition and empanelment of all health care providers and facilities registered under the Clinical Officers Council in accordance with the law. Reinstatement of the pre-authorization right for clinical officers, including the specialized, under the Social Health Authority to provide services for all Kenyans. Full implementation of the return to work by the Ministry of Health and all the 47 county coordinated under the Council of Governors before 19th July 2025. We therefore declare that failure to address these demands in full will leave the union with no option but to invoke Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya, together with the relevant legal framework, and commence an industrial action starting midnight 19th January 2024. Meanwhile, we remain open to constructive dialogue with the government and all key stakeholders to amicably resolve this issue. Without concrete outcome of the same, we are ready to take lawful measures to protect the right of and welfare of clinical officers and the public at large. I want to make a few remarks. As I stated, it is very clear that the issues we are raising are historical, are issues that are dealing with people's life. Clinical officers are the single largest clinical service provider. What that means, if you go to any health center, the person who will listen to you, take your history, examine you, send you to the laboratory, and actually prescribe your medicine, do any procedure, starting from that level to the highest level, we have the simple majority, over 87%. We are talking about special services. For instance, in the anesthesiology services, we offer 99%, ENT 99%, reproductive health 99%. These are the people who are now being subdued, that they are not going to offer services to the patient registered under Social Health Authority. And we are saying that that is an affront to the existing laws, and that is the Social Health Authority that gives the right to all the practitioners to practice as entailed in their respective authorities. That is the Act, which gives them the responsibility in accordance to their training. Our cry here today is because since the ushering, or rather the transition from the NHF to the new Social Health Authority, the new Social Health Authority Board, led by by a man appointed by the President, called Dr. Abdi, who is also a council member of the KMPDC, together with the Director General, misguided the whole authority to actually take a different position from what the law provides. The law provided that facilities that were providing services and existed before the Social Health Authority that were offering services under the NHF, all of them were transitioned to offer services under the Social Health Authority, except the one that are registered under the Clinical Officers Council. What I mean is that all these facilities are registered in respective authority. Authority, I mean the regulatory bodies that regulate professionals and the facilities. Now, and including the professional, because we as clinical officer, existing under the Clinical Officers Act, are registered under that act by the Clinical Officers Council. Now they are saying...
Ni taarifa ambayo tunazidi kufuatilia kwa kina zaidi, mtazamaji. Kwingineko